Welcome to Campaholics.
I'm Christy.
I'm Mandy.
And I'd rather be camping. All right, welcome to Campaholics.
Yeah.
Episode meeting, really 3.
Yep.
And it's been how many days since our last camp trip?
Too many.
I can't even count anymore. It's been too long.
It has. I definitely need to join this meeting today because I'm having camping withdrawals.
Yes, we need to talk about camping.
That's right.
Oh, I'm so excited. What are we talking about today, Mandy?
Well, before we get into that, I kind of wanted to just recap our camp etiquette with some big national park news that happened recently. So Biscuit Basin baked a little too long on that biscuit because some steam and debris flew several hundred feet in the air, and so they had to close that down so people wouldn't get hurt, and thankfully nobody did get hurt at the incident. I think they're calling it a hydrothermal explosion. So camp etiquette, they have those pathways for a reason, and no one got hurt, so that tells me they stayed on the path and they were doing their job respecting those rules. Good. Yeah. So anyway, today we are talking about bare essentials.
What to pack?
Yeah, what to pack, supply list, camping, all that stuff. So we can get right into it, but some basic things off the National Park website, and obvious, if I might say, are things like water, food, your cooking supplies, shelter. We'll go into all those in a little bit, but the REI, I like REI. I don't know if you shop much there.
They're kind of expensive, I'm not going to lie. And it's been a long time because where's the closest one to us? Tempe? Chandler?
Chandler.
I never go that way.
I know. I usually just shop online if I do, but you're right.
True.
They are a little pricey, but
they have good stuff.
And they have a lot of good self-help stuff on their website. So that's where I got this little more detailed camping checklist. Some of them aren't necessarily the things you need camping, but are they nice to have? Of course.
I like that REI one. I'm looking at the campsite extras, and it's talking about bringing binoculars and a star chart so you can identify the stars at night, which is amazing. Yeah, because one thing I was talking about our Washington trip is it's beautiful, but there's so many trees you don't really get much of the sky, right?
That's true.
So that's one perk of camping here in Arizona is there's nothing oh my gosh, the views are amazing at night, right? You can see everything.
I know. It's awesome. My son, him and my cousin's son, they one time did this time-lapse video at night, and they let it go all night. And then the next day they did the sped up version. And it was really cool to see the shooting stars and the moon and everything.
Yeah, and just the rotation itself is interesting. That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So water, food, those are your number 2. Definitely need to bring.
If you didn't bring those, why are you going?
Exactly.
This isn't Survivor, man. Don't be a hero.
I know. Are we talking to the people in the movie WALL-E where they just sit in these bubbles and they have these arms bring them their drinks to slurp out of and everything? I mean, you can't camp if you're like that. So
yeah, we'll talk about way later. We'll talk about what people call glamping, but I don't know that I approve 100% of a glamping life.
Yeah, and I even having a trailer, I was always ooh, I don't want to get a trailer and be known as a glamper, but I feel we still kind of rough it with a trailer. The reasons we did get a trailer were primarily because I'm diabetic, and having a fridge keeping my insulin cold is definitely a necessity. So for me, that is a bare necessity. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, and I like to think that you guys aren't like some folks who will get their RV and then they never leave the RV, right? They're watching TV and taking naps and making quesadillas. I'm come outside. You drove 3 hours to get here. You bought, right? Be outside. So it's you guys really only go inside to eat, shower, and sleep.
Right.
So I don't consider you guys glampers because you do spend most of your time outside.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I kind of consider our dog Ranger a glamper because she will be I want inside. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. It's bedtime. And I'm you are a little pansy. So get out here and enjoy the outdoor. But she does get her exercise, and she goes 24/7. And so then she just crashes. But anyway, so yeah. So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So shelter and bedding. So depending on where you're going is going to depend on what kind of shelter you want. Like, do you want to sleep under the stars? Is it going to be a cot, a hammock? Do you want a tent? So a lot of it is going to be personal preference, but I do recommend some sort of shelter and some sort of bedding so you're comfortable.
Yeah. Like my cot.
Yeah, you have an awesome cot.
I was kind of mad at it because I can't ever get the mattress in the bag with the cot frame. And it kills me, but when I get it there and I set it up, I'm like, oh, this thing is worth it.
Yeah. Yes. And also being comfortable, it helps you want to camp longer.
It does.
Because then you're like, oh, okay, I could do this a few more nights. So.
Yeah, I guess not so bad.
Yeah. So yeah. So definitely things what to bring. Your basics. What's another item that you would say is a necessity to bring camping?
It's definitely the little things for me. Like, I love, even if we're camping in the summertime, I'll bring socks to sleep in at night. Because it gets a little chilly.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't have socks to sleep in, I have problems.
We don't want that.
So definitely plenty of socks. Plus, we have kids and it's like somehow their feet always get soaked. They find a puddle somewhere or a creek and you're like, really?
Yeah.
So it's like
extra socks.
Extra socks.
Exactly. And on that topic, I would suggest just packing underwear. I mean, I'm not even talking about extra. I'm just saying in general underwear. And I'm speaking from personal experience because I thought I had packed underwear on this particular trip, but apparently I didn't. And wearing the same pair of underwear for 4 nights is not ideal.
No.
So yeah, I got made fun of a lot for that. So
oh no.
Yeah, I tried borrowing underwear. It was these are situations you don't want to get yourself
You're
in.
all walking around camp seeing what you can make underwear out of. Are you going to use this towel later?
Yeah. So that's a necessity. I would say the appropriate footwear too. If you're going to do a lot of hiking, definitely bring the hiking shoes or boots because you don't want to twist an ankle. You want to be able to get through the thick forest and stuff. If you're going to the lake or the river, bring water shoes.
Yeah, water shoes. They're amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so if you're bringing a tent or a canopy, bring stakes to, tie those down or hammer those down when it's windy. Those are some necessity items. Basic cookware, your marshmallow roasters. Hello.
I know. I can't wait to try those out. And my new cooler.
Yeah. So a cooler, obviously, for your food.
Gray water.
Gray water.
Gray water is just essentially you can get it from a hose. I get mine from my bathtub.
Yeah.
I fill up my little canister.
Yeah.
Or it's what is mine, a 3-gallon or a 5-gallon? I don't carry much. Actually, I'm glad we brought this up because I just got a new one for that Washington trip and it was a collapsible one.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a really soft plastic. And at first I was like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah.
But then later I realized I do because as you can only fill it, say halfway, right? And then you can squish it down and then shove it into a small space or in between the tree.
Oh,
right. And
you could wedge it in.
Yeah, I wedged it in between the tree branches and hung a towel, and so we had our little hand washing station. Yes. And I was like, okay, I do really like this one.
That is an essential. Your hand wash station is important. You need a go-to place to get your hands clean or rinse, a dish out or whatever. I mean, camping with kids, they're bleeding half the time, so having that gray water is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would also suggest a shovel, whether you are a tent or a trailer camper. You never know when you're going to need to dig something.
Yeah. So, or hit someone.
I mean, it's a great weapon.
That's how I feel about the binoculars. I'm like, oh, cool, bird watching. But really, you could look for Bigfoot.
Exactly. And I don't know how many times people have borrowed our shovel, which I'm grateful for. That's why I like camping with other people, because if you don't have something or they don't have something, you usually can depend on each other and get it figured out. So
yeah, I think you've rescued me a few times.
I'm sure you've done the same. Hey, as long as you return my scissors, I'm good.
Yeah. I learned that one pretty quick.
I don't know why I got so anal about my scissors. I'm like, where are they?
I kind of have the same problem. Like, I have 3 pairs at home, and somehow they're never where they belong. And I'm like,
exactly. Yeah.
It's never enough. I wish I were like Edward Scissorhands and I never had to look for scissors, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Oh man. So yeah, if it's sunny, hot, I mean, camping, you're generally outdoors anyway, so sunblock is a good item to always have. A hat. Yep, either a canopy or tarp, a place you can kind of retreat to out of the sun or the rain.
Yeah.
Definitely a camp chair around the campfire. Mm-hmm. Matches, lighter, or. Yeah, there's so many things. Like, you'll want a lantern or some sort of lighting for at night. Yeah. So a hammer. Well, you just said that.
Yeah. Have you ever used bear spray? Do you typically carry it with you?
We don't typically carry it with us, but we do have bear spray. When we went to Yellowstone, we definitely had it with us as far as like in our trailer and stuff. There was one time we were camping in the Grand Tetons, and we were walking late to Jackson Lake, and it's kind of through these trees, and it's like kind of freaky, scary. So we had the bear spray with us then because we didn't know if a bear was going to jump out.
Well, sure.
Get us, but
he's all hot.
I know.
Gotcha.
I know. And so Hannah, she's like working up in Montana close to Yellowstone, and she keeps, every time she talks to us right now, she's like, where you guys are going to be staying, there's a lot of bears. She like says that every time. And so I'm like, we definitely need bear spray. So she got us some. So we're going to have it when we go there in a couple weeks. But what about you?
I've never used it. And I think I'm that person that like, I'm afraid to buy it because if I buy it, that means I'm accepting the fact that there's bears out there and that I might actually have to use it.
This is a true reality.
So because I've never used bear spray and I don't know that I would buy it, I was looking up some stuff online, like what are some tips in case you run into a bear or anything. And it was really funny because they actually kind of have, you know how like they always come up with fun little rhymes
yes.
for things that are actually really dangerous. So they're say, here's what they guide us to do. If it's brown, get down. So here's the thing, but it says you need to play dead for 20 minutes at least.
How are you going to do that when there's a bear? My heart rate would be going 1,000,000 miles per hour.
Yeah. So good luck with that one. And then if it's a black bear, fight back. So black, fight back.
Okay.
This one, they said, don't try to climb a tree, which I feel like with any of these, don't try to climb a tree or run. Like, they're obviously going to be better.
And can we just go back to that black bear one? I am not fighting back with a bear. I'm running.
Well, so when they say fight back, their guidance is stay in place, be loud and large. So that's when you like put your hands above your head and like growl and yell at this guy because he's really only like 6 feet tall.
Okay.
So you could scare him off. You just got to be bigger than him. But like the grizzly bears, the brown ones are like, I think those are like 8 or 10 feet tall. So there's no way you're going to scare that guy off. So you just pretend like you're dead. And then polar bears, it says white good night.
Oh my gosh.
These ones are crazy. I'll have to see if I can find the scale that I found. But polar bears are something like 12 feet tall. Like, wow. If they were to stand up. So they're like, good luck. You can't outrun him. There's no trees. There's nothing, right? Like, especially if we talk about where polar bears live. So,
oh my goodness. They need to have this little warning sticker on a can of bear spray included with like a horn for these black bears. And you could just like crank the horn. Although I could see where you could mix up your bears and then you're like putting your horn at a grizzly bear and then you're just like gone.
Oops.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, we were talking about what are we going to pack. I knew you'd come up with some really good lists because you're good at listing. But so for me, it was more or less the process. Like, how do I go about getting myself ready for a trip? Mm-hmm. So I definitely make a list.
Yeah.
Or like this, if there's like REI has this really great list.
Yeah.
And then you could add to it. And then I start piling things and grouping it right in the middle of my living room, essentially. So it's super inconvenient.
Hey, but it works. And I kind of see how that could be helpful, because then you're like visually seeing what you've already grouped together and what you have. Because sometimes I run into the issue where, okay, I know I need something's on my list, and I pre-pack it.
Yeah.
Or even like pre-packing my clothes. And this is probably what happened when I didn't pack my underwear, is I packed all my clothes and somehow forgot the underwear, but I had packed everything else, and I'm like, I'm good. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then the trip came, and I'm like, no, I'm ready to go. I don't need anything else. And then you get up there and you're like, just kidding.
Which is why there's another step in my process. So it's kind of like list and gather and pack, and then I shop, because there's going to be things that I'm missing from my list, right? And then it's check the list again.
Oh, that's so smart.
So I was like, if Santa's doing it, it's got to be right.
Yes, if in doubt, follow Santa's method.
Yeah, so I checked it twice. And then, a lot of times I'll do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I didn't pack that because I had to wash it. Or,
right.
Oh no, I picked it up from the store and I left it in the car, so
Yeah.
it's fine, or whatever. But if I can't, I have to visualize all of it together, or I'm like, I'm going to forget something.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you've camped before, I think most campers have their basic camping supplies already packed. And so then it's like the last minute stuff, like your food, your clothes, your creams, like stuff like that, your soap. But yeah, so definitely check it twice.
Yeah. I know I do. I have all my stuff. I actually just bought a shelf for my garage so I could organize all my camping stuff. Because right now it's just like in a giant pile in my garage.
That's awesome.
I know. So, but then I was like, why did I do that? It's way too hot to be out there building shelves. So I'm like, well, this will wait.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And like one thing that Brian and I have started doing too, having a trailer, is at the end of our camping trip, we make a list of things we're running low on, like soap or paper towels and stuff. And that way I'm already ready for my next one.
Same here.
That is how campaholic we are.
Yep.
We are like,
we're already thinking
about our next trip as we end the one we are currently on.
Yeah. Except, when we talk about like, oh, I'm just buying more forks or plates. For me, I'm like, I bought a cooler and a kitchen.
I mean,
marshmallow roast.
And it even comes down to like grocery shopping. Like we were grocery shopping yesterday morning, and I'm already thinking in my head, we're going in a few weeks, so if I buy 2 extra right now while they're on sale and they're not going to expire, then boom, I'm already halfway done with my shopping.
Yep.
So
I'm right there with you.
Oh, I do have to say, not only your gray water, but make sure you're bringing enough drinkable water.
Yeah.
Water bottles, your reusable water. That's definitely important.
Yeah, I'm bad at that. I usually bring enough alcohol, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, probably helps you forget about bringing the water you need.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, oh, Mandy's got me.
Or get one of those life straws where you can just like get near a creek and just like suck it up from the ground. Oh.
Yeah, I'll probably just ask you first.
Yeah, I know. I have a life straw, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'd ever use this.
I had one, and I since lost the pieces to it, so I just need to get a new one, right? But I still do. I kind of feel the same way about that as I do the bear spray. I'm like, do I have to use that?
I know.
Like, because I don't know if I trust it.
Exactly. If you're camping with pets, also think about their, bare necessities too. Like, Ranger, she's pretty easy. The dog food, but I have been packing like a special snack for her because if there's new people you're camping with, I kind of want to keep her quiet. And so like getting her those like chew bones and stuff. So she doesn't.
She has like a little blanket for outside, right?
She does. It's a little Wonder Woman blanket.
Of course it is.
I know. It's cute.
Yeah, but I think to your point, like, make your pet comfortable because they've been indoors just as much as you have, and they're used to the couch and like walking on carpet and nice grass. So like their paws could get sore after a day or two.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that because we have this nickname for Ranger. We call her Tender Paw when we camp now because she loves her frisbee so much, and we will throw it. And if you know anything about blue heelers, they will run themselves to death. And so she will go, and then her paws will get like so ragged and raw. We're like, oh, are you Tender Paw today? Because she'll be like, oh, I can't walk, but give me my frisbee. So it's funny, but anyways, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll post some stuff on Instagram and our website to help you guys know what to pack. If you have questions, you know how to reach out to us. You can email us at I'd rather be camping with a K at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. You can send us a message on our Instagram, our Facebook. Yeah. Most of you probably know us, so you could text us. We're here to help you guys figure out how to plan and camp and not forget anything while you're packing. Yeah. And if you run into a bear, I guess you also know what to do now. Good luck.
Exactly. And join us next time. We are going to be talking about weather, so that kind of goes into what you need to pack depending on the weather. Yes. So we're excited. So keep camping.
Keep camping. See you next time.
Bye. Bye.